Good afternoon, this is Janet Banana, and thank you for stopping by to catch me in the kitchen. Today I thought we would make a carrot cake. What do you think of that? I don't know if any of you have gotten Taste of Home magazines before. A number of years ago I would get this one in the mail, and I'd get Simple and Delicious, and I'd get Canadian Living, and so on and so on, and it was too much. So after a while, when the internet kicked in, the interweb as my son jokingly says, I realized I could get recipes on there. So, but I still keep these, and these are great magazines, and it was in the Taste of Home that I found this awesome recipe for carrot cake. So when I was first married 50 years ago, actually, during the first 5 or 6 years, me, my sisters-in-law, my sisters, we all were making carrot cakes. And they were good, they were awesome. But you know what? After about the 40th carrot cake, you kind of said, okay, that's enough of that. So I hadn't made a carrot cake for, I don't know, maybe 30 years. I'd tasted lots of them, and it shows. But I hadn't made one. So I came upon this recipe called Mrs. Thompson's carrot cake. And I got it about 3 or 4 years ago. And I started making it, taking it to the hockey games, and the ladies loved them. Hey, Melanie? Anyway, before I start the cake, I just wanted to show you this little contraption that I have here for doing carrots. And it is some slick. It's just a little thing that is suction to the cupboard, and it saves on getting little pieces of skin in your carrot cake, if you know what I'm saying. So I think I got this at Stokes, so it's just great if you do a lot of coleslaw, or it's also got another slicer thing. I make use it for potato scallop. If you make a lot of things like that, like, get this, it's the bomb, it's the bomb. Okay, so I grated 3 cups of carrots earlier, and they were cold, so I just popped them in the microwave for about 45 seconds to, warm them up to room temperature. So all of your stuff should be at room temperature, right? So we're going to put a cup of oil in here, vegetable oil, right down, and 2 cups of sugar. So that's 3 cups carrots, cup of oil, 2 cups sugar, and I've got this little, let me see, can of pineapple, crushed pineapple. So take that and get all the juice out of it, and drink the juice if you want, because pineapple juice is very good for you. And so we'll put that, we've sieved that, so it's dry of juice, so we'll put that in there. Then we've got 4 eggs, which I got at room temperature as well. So we'll put those in. And I'm not using my Tupperware Fix and Mix bowl that some people say is your foot soaking bowl or your, puke bowl. I'm not, and I never did use them for that, but I'll just use this aluminum bowl. I think I picked it up at Value Village, which is one of my favorite stores. So we've got 4 eggs in here. So what we're going to do, it's a pretty easy recipe for sure, and we're going to beat this just a little while before he turns the camera off. Okay, so we beat that a little bit. Now we've got 2 cups of flour, and we put 2 teaspoons of baking soda. And again, this recipe will be written up, and Goomer will put it on the video for you, and you'll be able to copy it. We've got 2 teaspoons of cinnamon. There are no raisins for you raisin haters, and no nuts for you people who are allergic, and I can understand that because my daughter is and my grandson is, so I understand that. And I guess it's just a beautiful cake anyway. You don't need anything extra. So I've mixed that around. So again, I'm going to beat it a little bit more. You don't want to overbeat it because it just doesn't need it. So I'll beat it a little more, a little bit at a time. Okay, so we've got that beaten up. As you can see, it's pretty easy. I didn't beat it a whole lot. It's got a beautiful texture. The carrot, of course, cooks up nicely. You wouldn't even know it's in there. So I'll get my pan, 13 by 9 pan, which is, this is a great Wilton pan, and you can see it's kind of old. It's been around, it's kind of like me. It's all scratched and weathered, and so I'm going to put this, it's greased and floured, so I'm going to put this in it. It makes a nice big cake. So I'll put it in, spread it around. My oven is already heated to 350, and I'm going to cook it on between 35 to 40 minutes until a toothpick inserted in the center comes out clean, okay? So scrape that off and put it in the oven. And I'm so thankful that the cameraman isn't in the front of the oven to see how dirty my oven is. But anyway, you know, I'll do that sometime. So set the timer, 35 minutes, see how that goes. And then when we come back, I will have the frosting ready with icing sugar, Philadelphia cream cheese. Always use Philadelphia, it's the best. We got some butter, and I'll have that mixed up, and a little bit of salt in it because this is unsalted butter that I've got thawed. So I'll be ready to put that on. So we'll see you we'll cook it for 35 to 40, and then we'll cool it. We'll see you in a bit. Okay. All right, so here we are. We've got the cake out of the oven. It took about 38 minutes. As you can see, it's a lovely big cake in a 13 by 9. Remember that we greased and floured the pan. So in the meantime, because beating up the icing would be noisy, I beat up the 8-ounce cream cheese at room temperature and a 1/4 cup of butter. This is unsalted, so I added a little salt and 2 teaspoons of real vanilla. And that kind of gives it that creamy, not white, you know, color, but the creamy color, which I love. Now this is 3 3/4 cups of icing sugar. Sometimes if it's a little bit warm in your house, you might need a little bit more of the icing sugar. This makes a big batch of icing, so quite often when I make the carrot cake, I just keep a little bit of the frosting, put it in the fridge, and if I make, I've got a nice like sugar cookie recipe, not sugar cookie, but shortbread, and so I keep it for that, and then I don't have to make the frosting because it's all ready. So as you can see, it makes quite a bit. Put a little bit more. It's actually more frosting than I like. You know how sometimes you get a cupcake and it's like 3 inches of frosting on it? I have to take most of it off because although I like sugar, I don't like that much sugar. So anyway, so we've got a beautiful frosting here. We've got some left over, as you can see in the bowl. There's about 3/4 cup left over for some cookies, which I'll make in another show at some point. And we'll just give a little pattern here. And then I have somebody who would try this out, I think. I think he's holding the camera right now, actually. He's sort of partial to carrot cake. Aren't you, Goomer? The other night when I was making the bread, and I passed it to him with the famous Lucy Nichols apple pie jam, and I called him Goomer. He laughed. You couldn't see it, but he did laugh. So I think he thinks I'm funny, and I think I'm funny too sometimes. So now if this was my daughter Charity, she would cut a piece right out of here in the center because she doesn't like the corners and she doesn't like the sides. But she doesn't like carrot cake. So we're not going to worry about Charity. So I'll take one right here. Oh, and it's nice. It's just, you know, usually you let the frosting sit a little bit, but Beverly looks hungry. Don't you, Beverly? So you can see, See the nice texture of it? It's moist. Oh, you want it already? It's just a minute. I'm going to give you a fork. And the frosting is beautiful. I add a little tinge more of real vanilla because I love real vanilla. And of course it's real butter because butter is better. So he's going to try that out. But you know what? I don't need to hear him, because I know how good it is. So that's the carrot cake recipe that brought me back to carrot cake. And I have a lot of these Taste of Home magazines lying around at the cottage, and when I get some girls, some chicks out there, we sit around and you know what? We might find a treasure, because that's where I found this, at the lake. And I've also got a bean dish that I'll try that I got from Taste of Home. So that's our show for today. Thank you for watching. Like our videos if you would please, and share them. And thank you. And next time, I'll catch you in the kitchen. Bye for now.